Hi everyone, welcome back to this class. Today we are going to have the verb tenses. We are going to learn the three tenses that in my opinion are the most difficult to learn, and well, that's why I'm here to help you learning these kind of tenses. We have the past simple, past continuous and present perfect. So I hope that you like it. I hope that you learn so much because we have like several activities that you're going to enjoy a lot. So let's start. We're going to start with the past simple. So the idea of this kind of class is going to be presential, like on site in the classroom, face to face. The objective is going to be that the students will be able to use the past simple in the correct way in sentences. And like the main assessment that it is going to have is the use the past simple in order to describe a memorable experience. So the first thing that I'm going to do as an opening is going to show a picture of a memorable experience and ask the students to share what they think that it's a memorable experience, what is happening in the picture, and well, to share their own memorable experiences and discuss how we talk about them using the past tense. This is going to be the picture that I am going to show. It is going to be about a concert. I am going to start sharing them my own experience in order to show them as an example how to use the past simple, and they will be able to infer the structure, the use of the verbs in this kind of conversation or exposition about the picture. So it would be about a concert that I went some time ago. I passed by the artist I was. So the idea is that in order to let them know what is going to be the topic around this kind of picture with the conversation of my experience. Next, we are going to have the guided practice that it's going to be just provide them a list of sentences with missing verbs, and well, they will have to correct the past simple form in the correct way. Of course, previously of that, I am going to have the explanation. So, as you can see in this kind of video, it is going to have like several activities starting with the explanation of the past simple. So, it's going to be the explanation, the structure, the verbs, and then we're going to have some activities. I want you to introduce the way that I am going to explain these three sentences and these three verb tenses. It is going to be with an app that is called Talk. It is going to be like an interactive presentation where the kids can join with a code. It can be a QR code or a normal code that they can join the room. And it's going to be the explanation of how simple the structure, and then there are going to be some activities. For example, the first one is to give an example using the past simple of the verb play. As you can see in the screen, they will be able to write this sentence, and then in the big screen that I am going to share as a teacher, they will be able to see the results and have a personal feedback. After this activity, they will be able to share an experience, a past event that happened, and share how they felt. So, in that moment, we will be able to understand the way that they are writing, how they are using the structure. In the same way, they are going to share their answers in the app. We will be able to receive the results, and after that, the own app, it is going to show the own feedback, specialized and personalized for them. Of course, we are not going to forget about the teamwork, so after this activity we are going to have homework in first. The idea is just to share some verbs, and they will have to be able to share by their own the verb in the past form. Okay, so the idea is that they are going to choose 3 verbs. After that, they will be able to say, for example, do, the past of it is did, talk, talked, say, said, look, looked, watch, watched, and well, that's the idea that they're going to select the verbs that they already know, and in that way we will be able to know what kind of verbs they already know, and then what verbs are we going to teach in order to fill those blanks in their knowledge. Okay, so these kind of classes and these kind of verb tenses are meant to be taught to kids 2, from 5th and 4th grade. So the idea is that of course they're not going to be like all the time attentive, like paying attention to that. So we're going to have a brain break. The idea is just to draw a bubbly octopus dancing in a disco party. Each activity is going to have like a specific instruction for drawing. They will be able to have fun drawing and just like taking a rest, taking a break in these kind of activities in order to be able to refresh their brain, and then we will continue working. As well as the previous activities, we will be able to see all the dreams of our students and share with them and have a wonderful time. As the second last activity, we are going to have a kind of quiz of the verb in the past form. So the idea is that we are going to ask what is the past tense of eat, what is the past tense of look, and most of the verbs. It's going to be a short activity, like a short quiz, in order to see if they understood what we just taught. And in that way we will be finishing the explanation of the past tense. Now we're going to have the guided practice I was mentioning. I am going to share with them the list of verbs and the list of sentences with missing verbs. So the idea is that they will be able to fill with the right form in past tense of the verbs. So of course we are going to start with easy questions, and gradually we're going to increase the difficulty. The idea is just for them to practice to understand when are we going to use the past simple and the different way of the verbs that I think that are the most difficult part of this specific tense. After that we are going to have like a practice itself. It's going to be with a worksheet. The idea of this worksheet is that they are going to write the sentence using the past simple test. I am going to show you right away. In this worksheet, they will be able to see the verbs and change it in the past form. It's going to be through a text, and after that they will be able to complete the main assessment that I talked at the beginning of the lesson, that was to write a paragraph using the correct way of the past simple. It is going to be adding and ending to the previous story in the worksheet, and that will be the idea. So they will be finishing with the past tense practice. As I mentioned, they are just kids of 5th or 4th grade, so the idea is to have a fun game in order to practice the actions of the verbs. It's going to be with a charades, and it's the same thing. They are going to act a verb, the other team is going to guess it, and they will have to build a sentence using that verb in past tense.
And we'll dream impossible. I will chase, I will reach, I will fly until I'm breaking out my cage like a bird in the night. I know I'm changing it into something big, better than before. And if it takes 1,000 lives, then it's worth fighting for. It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable.
And that would be with our past simple tense. I hope that you have liked it. I hope that you have enjoyed and learned a lot. That is the most important thing. We're going to continue now with the past continuous. Let's start with our second tense. Is going to be past continuous. The main objective is going to be the students will be able to identify the use of the past continuous and use them correctly in sentences. The main assessment is going to be to complete a worksheet where they have to rewrite one sentence from past simple and change it to past continuous, identifying the action that is being performed. We are going to start with the opening. It is going to be show them just a short video. It is going to be of a movie that is called Box Life in Spanish, Features from Disney. So they will be able to see some ants working together. So the idea is to ask them to describe what they see and speculate on what the people might have been doing at that moment. As you can see, we will be able to use the past continuous. So Then we're going to have the explanation. It is going to be with the same app that I just showed you with the past simple. So let's start with the explanation of our tense. And it's going to be with the same app as I just mentioned. The idea is for the students to join in the room, and we are going to start with the activities. After the explanation of the structure, the use, the verbs, everything that we have to know about the past continuous, we're going to have the first question, that it is going to be, what was happening when you were in 5th grade? So the idea is that they will be able to see like what was happening. It can be 5th grade, 2nd grade in that case. So as I mentioned, it is going to be super easy to use these kind of apps. They will be able to answer the question. It is going to show up in their own devices. It can be done by a computer, tablet, or cell phone. They are going to answer, share, and also submit their answer. And we, as teachers, we are going to be able to share the results with all of the class, giving a feedback for each answer. We are going to have between 3 or 4 questions of this kind. The idea is for them to start using the past continuous. As the previous activity or as the previous tense, we of course are going to have our brain break. It's going to be a draw. In this case, they will have to draw a flying pizza with wings and a cake soaring through a starry night sky. So that's going to be a little bit funny to see from the kids. So that's going to be our break, our active pause, just continuing with the same line as drawing. At the end, we're going to have like the longest activity that is going to be inside of our lesson plan. It's going to be during 20 minutes. The idea is that it's going to be in pairs. As I mentioned, everyone is going to have the chance to work in group. It's going to be, in this case, in pairs. So, the cousin is going to tell what he was doing at 8 p.m. the previous night. So, what tense should he be using to explain it? That it's going to be their job. They will be able to recognize the tense, and after that, they are going to draw what he or what their partner was doing their previous night. So we will be able to check if they actually understood what he was doing, and also if the partner that was telling the story, that was telling the action, was using the right tense. In order to finish, we are going to have some questions to see if they have cleared the structure of this tense. What is the past structure, past continuous tense of the verb if? What is the past, what sentence or which sentence is in the past continuous tense? And in that way we'll be able to check if they have everything cleared. At the end, they will be able to work in pairs again in order to write the difference between past tense, past continuous, and past simple tense. It is going to be an exercise of writing, so in that way we will be able to check their writing skills as well. In that way, we will be ending the explanation of the past tense continuous. In order to have the practice of this past continuous tense, we're going to have the first one that is going to be guided. The idea is to share with them some some present simple tense in sentences, so they will be able to rewrite them in past continuous. The idea of this practice to be guided is that we are going to monitor their results going through the classroom. Remember that these lessons are taught in order to be presential, like on site in the classroom. So we will be able to check what they're doing, to control the discipline, to check what like their progress. And well, we are going to continue with the practice that is going not to be guided, it's going to be independent. It's going to be about a worksheet. They will have to start with the sentences that are going to be in past simple. So it's going to be in past simple, and they will have to change it to past continuous. After that, they will be able to recognize the action that is being performed and match the sentence or the action with the picture that corresponds. Let's see. After doing this point, we are going to continue with the second point of the worksheet, that it's going to be some questions related to the use of the past continuous. We're going to have some of them that are going to be like our own reflection, our own knowledge that they will be able to have. At the end of it, they will be able to write a paragraph using the past continuous tense. We're going to have them describe the action in the past continuous with from the exercise. Okay, so they will be able to think of an action, describe them like using specific details, and well, we will be able to check again their writing skills. I am going to be so focused in the writing skills this way in this tense and in this lesson plan. Why? Because you are going to realize only with the writing and the listening if they actually understood what they are saying and if they actually understand the use of each tense. You can use it speaking, but it would be better to prove it in the writing. So we're going to have that worksheet, and after that we will be able to have the quiz. So the idea is to watch a short video, and it's going to be about a way of staying, and it's going to be daily. So, what is about this video? The video is about the environment, how to take care of them. It's like a short film animated with a whale trying to save the sea from the trash. So we are going to have something that is going to make them aware of the situation of the environment, the animals, and the trees. And after that, we will be able to ask them some comprehension questions that are going to be these ones. So please take a look at them, and they are going to be so easy. It's just about sounds, about when they are going to, what is happening in the video, what happened in the beginning, what happened in each minute. Of course, if they don't remember, we will be able to replay the video again. As I mentioned before, we're going to have some students that finish earlier than expected, so we're going to have in this tense and extension activity again. We're going to share with them a short story. It's going to be called Dirty Donkey, and we will have to ask them to write a paragraph using the past continuous tense to describe the action taking place in the story. So the donkey fell, so they will be able to say the donkey was old using the past continuous tense. In that way, we will be able to finish with the past continuous tense. I hope that you have liked it. I hope that you have learned. We are going to continue then with the present perfect, our last verb tense. Let's start with our last tense. It's going to be present perfect. The main objective is going to be the same as the previous tense, of course, focusing in this. It's going to be that the students will be able to use the present perfect in the correct way in sentences, and the main assessment is going to be to complete a worksheet where they will fill in the blanks with the correct form in the present perfect tense. So we are going to start with the opening. It's going to be with showing them a picture of a child like handling or holding a present. So the idea is that we're going to ask the students if they have ever received a gift. I will ask them to share their experiences and discuss why receiving a gift is so exciting. They will engage with the students and create a connection to the concept of the present perfect tense. After that, we are going to start with the explanation. Like the main thing is going to be how are we going to show this tense to the students. It's going to be with the same as we last used with the previous two tenses. Let's start with it. It's going to be with the same thing, the same concept, the same mechanism as we just used. These students are going to be able to join the room with the code or with the QR code that is showing on the screen in their own devices, and then we're going to start with the explanation. We're going to start with what have you done today. So they are going to use maybe like probably, most probably, a different test. They want a different one that we're going to teach today. So maybe they're going to answer, well, what have I done today? I work, I play, I learn, I speak. Yes, maybe they will be able to use the past simple, maybe the past, the present continuous of the verb, like gerund, but they are not going to use the present perfect because we haven't taught them. After this, we are going to be able to share with them the explanation of the present perfect with the use, the structure, the exceptions, the rules, and after this, they will be able to answer it the right way. These questions that I'm going to show them in their script. What are some examples of things you have done recently that are in the present perfect? So they will be able to answer, okay, what I have done recently. Okay, so I have played video games. I have had lunch. And in this way, they are going to start like familiarizing with the present perfect. Can you think of a sentence that uses the present perfect? They are going to invent this sentence using the present perfect, and we will continue practicing.
Take a shot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will glow in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream impossible.
And after this, we'll be able to have our last team group that's going to be with the main question. So we are going to have, you have been talking to your friend about a recent activity. How do you use present perfect to describe what happened? So they will be able to talk about it, practice speaking, engage with their partners, and after that, they are going to create a dialogue between two people using the present perfect. Then we will be able to write a story about a recent event in their life using the present perfect. So we're going to practice like the whole skills around only one tense, and they will be expert in each tense that we just taught. As I mentioned before, we finish with some questions, and at the end, work in first again. What is the difference between has and have in the present perfect? Just to confirm the grammar rules. And that would be it. We finish with the explanation of the past of the present perfect. We finish with the explanation of the present perfect, so let's start with our guided practice. I am going to share with them a worksheet that is going to have sentences with the blank, and they will be able to fill them with the present perfect. As it is going to be guided, I am going to be with them, showing them examples and using, for example, the first sentence as an example, show them how or when to use have and has, and they will be able to continue by their own. After that, we're going to have our practice, so they will be able to write 5 sentences using the present perfect to describe their own experiences. It can be about anything. We can set up a topic, for example, camping, or traveling, or movies, or food. So it can be like several topics that we can like close their options so they can think of a specific topic, of a specific action, and well, they are going to use the present perfect. After that, you're going to play a game that I really love. That's going to be Find Someone Who. It's a kind of bingo, so they will be able to practice and play with all of their classmates and get to know each other a little bit better. So the idea is that they are going to have this chart. It's going to be, for example, find someone who has climbed a mountain. So there we are using the present perfect, and well, they will have to write their names. In all of the chart we cannot repeat names. So for example, if Juan already climbed a mountain and also have a dog, I cannot say that he has a dog as well. So I have to look for another person that have pets and well, continue looking for the right person. It's a game that helps us to engage with our classmates, with their classmates, and well, to have a great time finishing and practicing the perfect tense. As the same with the last, with the two previous dances, we're going to have our extension activity. If someone finished earlier than expected, I am going to provide them with some flashcards, and the idea is that they are going to have in one side the sentence written in simple past tense, and backwards they will be able to write them in present perfect. Just a change of tenses, as we already did, to reinforce their information. So guys, that would be it for the present perfect. Okay, and we finish our tenses for today. Remember that we saw the past simple, past continuous, and present perfect with all of the activities, all of the explanation. That is going to be a plan or a lesson plan full, like complete, of each tense with activities, practicing and reinforcement, and also developing each of your communicative skills. Remember that it's listening, speaking, writing, and reading. We're going to have stories, we're going to have conversations, we're going to have writing sentences. Of course, they are going to listen to the teacher every time, so they will be practicing listening as well. I hope that you have liked it, and I hope that you can use this lesson plan in order to share with your students. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.